Hey, Nick here with At Work, and today we're going to make marketing super simple. All you really need to know is that there's 4 battles you have to win when it comes to getting a customer. The first is the battle for attention. The second is the battle for consideration. The third is the battle for decision, and the fourth is the battle for retention. So today we're going to break every single one of those down and show you all the things that you can do in each one of those battles to make sure that you win. So let's start with drawing a funnel here. Now you can imagine this is the way that customers find you. The top of the funnel is going to be where most people come in. Then they're going to go down the funnel further and further up until you've got them as a customer and you can retain them. So we're talking about the first thing being the battle for attention. Is that how you spell attention? I think so. Now here's all the different things that you can do. You have to be able to first show up when somebody is looking in order to even be considered. That's called the battle for attention. So how do you win it? Now, if you're not showing up when they're looking, then you're not going to be found. That's what winning the battle of attention is all about. So how can you be found when and where people are looking? These are all the things that you could do. The first, maybe most important, is going to be your Google business profile. Everybody should have one of these. This is the profile that shows up on Google Maps and also on Google Search. Now, you want to make sure that that profile exists, first of all, and then secondly, that it's fully optimized. That's just a fancy way of saying that you have all the information in there and that all the information is correct. That means you've got updated photos, that you're making a good first impression when somebody finds you, generally speaking, so you have the right phone number, you've got the right business information, the right address, all the services that you do are actually correctly listed on there, and that's going to be a huge factor. Also, that you have reviews on there and that the reviews are good and that you're consistently getting more reviews there as well. Now, you may also hear this called local SEO. That basically just means search engine optimization, which basically means showing up on Google when people are looking. Now, another thing that you can do here to win the battle of attention is going to be paid ads. Now, what's nice about what we just talked about, the organic Google SEO, is that you don't have to pay Google in order to show up. They just put you there because they know that you're the best answer to somebody's search query. The ads, you actually end up paying Google directly to show up. Now, it might sound bad, but it's actually a good thing because since you're paying Google, your ads will show up quicker. Now, this gets you more instant results. SEO is generally a longer term practice, still beneficial. We like to recommend that people kind of do both in tandem if they can. That way you're getting the quick results and quick benefits of the paid search ads, but you're also getting the long-term benefits of the organic local SEO. Social media, another huge player in how people have a first impression of your business. So you want to make sure that your profiles are actually in existence across all the different channels, and that if somebody was to come across you there, that there's a good representation of your business. So you want to make sure that the pictures are good, that it represents you well. Having that benchmark really kind of across the board is a good standard to hold. So look at all the different places where people can find you, Google Maps, SEO, directory sites, and make sure that if they were to find you there, that you're making a good first impression. Now, we just talked about directory sites. These are listings for your business on websites like Yelp, Angie's List, Better Business Bureau, Nextdoor, Houzz, Porch, places like this. These are not necessarily as big of drivers as Google will be for you, but there are still definitely people looking for your types of services on those websites. So you want to make sure you can show up, but also, and maybe even more importantly, if somebody was to Google your business, you want to show up as often, as many times as possible. Having listings on each of these directory websites will populate that first, second, maybe even third page of Google when somebody looks for your business. So it's helpful in that way. And that's what you may hear people like us call social proof. Now, you may notice that we're giving you a ton of free information in this video, and that is the goal of this video. We want to have you watch this and be able to immediately go out and apply some of this stuff. So with that in mind, we're going to talk about door knockers still in the top of the funnel battle for attention. So door knockers or canvassing neighborhoods is a strategy that some of our clients have used for great success. It's going to be pretty expensive, but depending on your profit margins and your specific industry, it could totally be worth the spend and time to train those door knockers as a way for you to get in front of people who may be interested in your services. One kind of unique strategy that people used to do more often and don't do as often now is direct mail. Now, we don't necessarily recommend blanketing neighborhoods. What is a better strategy to use is what we would consider strategic direct mail. This would be sending out direct mail flyers or postcards to homeowners around projects that you're already doing in that neighborhood. Bonus points if you can talk about that project in that mailer so it's even more specific to the person reading it. Now, you don't want to do junk mail, right? That's the stuff that just gets thrown away. That's what's given mail and also cold email a bad rap. Now, you can combat that by having specificity and just unique positioning and angling for the mail that you're sending out. So kind of an unused strategy. And for that reason, it's a good opportunity to make use of if you do it the right way. Still in the top of the funnel, attention, battle, PR. This is something that usually you would hear like from digital companies or big corporations, though it does have a great effect for local small home improvement or home service industries. This would be content in local publications in your area. So it might be like your local news network or like your city magazine doing a write-up about your business, or even better, you sharing helpful information to them and to the readership. This is good because it paints you in a good light as being like a valuable, helpful, knowledgeable resource on the stuff that just so happens you offer. And one of the last bits on the attention top of the funnel battle is going to be relationship building. This is going out and building relationships with people in adjacent industries. So this could be relationships with people like real estate agents or architects or engineers, people who work with your ideal customer on a regular basis, and building referral relationships with them. So when they have somebody who may be interested in your services, you're the company that they recommend. Okay, so we've gotten through the first battle. Now we're going to talk about battle number 2. This is the battle for consideration. Now you'll notice here, these people are less in amount because they're moving closer down to the bottom of the funnel. You're going to get more people up here, less people here, and then less people at the bottom by nature of the funnel. We'll talk more about that in just a bit. But the battle for consideration is all about being considered for the job. So now that you've got their attention, it's time to get them to actually want to consider you as their person that they're going to hire for this project. Now, a few things are going to go into this. The first being branding. Now, branding you can think of it as painting the picture of your business in the mind's eye of the person who's looking at it. So you know all about your business, you know the ins and outs, you know what you want to represent, how you function, and what you're trying to achieve. Branding will communicate all of that information in that spirit, you could say, to a person who's just kind of looking at you for the first time. Successful branding will tell your story without you having to say anything. Branding will also help you stand out from the rest of the businesses out there. A big benefit because a lot of home service businesses don't focus on branding whatsoever. So you have a leg up there if you just spend a little bit of time and attention on it. And it also, if done well, could help you command higher prices because the prospect will see your brand and have it seem like it's maybe more of an elevated professional service line, making it easier for you to convert them or having less sticker shock when they see the actual price of your estimate. Now, another key aspect of winning the battle of consideration or the battle for consideration is positioning. Now, positioning is kind of a fancy word for how you show up, the strategic place that you take in the market. This is something that also a lot of home service businesses don't take advantage of, and something that can help you be set apart from the competition when prospects are looking and considering who to hire for the job. Now, one thing that you have to remember is most prospects are probably going to be getting multiple quotes from different companies. Even if they aren't, you want to be the one that they consider reaching out to. So if they're only going to hire one person, you want to be the person that they're going to actually fill out that quote and give you guys a call to get that free estimate or request. Now, positioning and branding all help you win that battle of consideration. Now, one thing that you've got to remember is most prospects are going to be getting estimate requests from multiple companies. Positioning, branding, this sort of stuff that we're talking about helps you be and take part in that conversation. Now, some of the other things that fall into positioning are going to be not just how we can make you different than the competition and position you strategically in the mind's eye of that customer, but also how we can develop special offers or special benefits and reasons as to why somebody would want to work with you. So maybe what customers really care about in your area is not being burned by their contractor or by their company. One of the ways that you could combat that is by offering a guarantee that if we don't finish the job by a certain amount of time, then the customer gets this. Or if you don't hear from us by this certain amount of time, then you get this. Or having a guarantee that, we respond to all communication within a certain amount of time. That alone may be the reason why somebody would choose to work with you over another company who may even be doing that same thing, but is just not communicating it to their prospects. Now, these days, website is how most people are going to have, or where most people are going to have their first interaction with your business. With all of this strategic and positioning and angling that we've been talking about, we need to make sure that we communicate that in a way that makes sense to the potential customer, to the prospect. Now that really comes down to mostly being clearly communicated on your website. So developing the right type of content on your site to communicate that message is going to go a long way and is certainly a foundational piece to winning the battle of consideration. So as prospects are worrying about your company, reading through your website, checking you out online in your different directories and on your social media channels, one thing that certainly is going to be in their mind is this company really about what they're saying they're about? They're going to be looking for proof, essentially. And we need to give them as much proof as humanly possible. Imagine if you could sit down with them and slap a 50-pound stack of proof on the table. That's what we're hoping to achieve. You could find proof in all sorts of places. Some of the most common ones is going to be reviews online. It's going to be the PR that we talked about, like press in your local newspapers or magazines. It's going to be the content on your website. So maybe you shoot videos or you write blog posts talking about what you do, teaching people how to do what you do, or demonstrating your expertise, essentially. Becoming a valuable, helpful resource to them is a good standard to maintain. So content like that. Things like awards. So maybe you're the most recommended company on Nextdoor or Porch, or you're highly rated on Yelp. Those sorts of things also help people decide on choosing you over somebody else. Making sure that your directory websites are continuously updated with new photos from the jobs that you guys are doing on a consistent basis, so people can actually see updated work and that you are holding the level of quality that you claim to be holding. All of those things will help you win that key battle, which is the battle for consideration. Now, after you've got their attention and they're considering you for the project, you need to be the one that they decide to work with. That's battle number 3. That's the battle for decision. Maybe that's how you spell it. What we're going to be looking at here is the stuff that you can do after somebody receives their estimate, right? So some of those aspects are going to be sales materials. So things that the estimator leaves with the prospect when they do their estimate. Now, this really kind of goes underlooked a lot of the times by companies. What I like to kind of paint the picture of is, imagine your estimator goes and gives an estimate and they leave the customer with a nice, thick, well-printed magazine type document that shows all the work that you guys have done, gives them different options for things that they could do. Even like, you can even think like editorial magazine style. So there's a couple articles in there talking about how different things that your company provides can increase their home value, or how it can make them get the most out of their home. There could be biographies of, or I guess bios of your estimators, what they like to do, your team, your mission statement, how the company came to be. a nice publication. Now, what's cool about this is going to sit on that prospect's counter for days, weeks, the whole time, certainly, that they're considering you or other companies for that project. Now, every time they look at that, they're going to be reminded of you and what other companies that you know that are going to give estimates are leaving something like that with the customer. Not only is it valuable and helpful and useful information, it's also something that they can see and physically have a reminder of your business. Now, think about like cereal boxes, for example, or any sort of packaging that's in your house. The reason that those things are designed the way that they are is because they're essentially a billboard in your home for that brand. That's the reason why they're designed the way that they are. Now, you'll never go to the grocery store and look at a package again the same way after realizing that point. This sort of idea will be extremely useful and helpful in converting more people who are considering you for the job to actually go for it and go ahead with the project. Now we're going to talk about email marketing. So the idea here is to stay top of mind throughout the whole time somebody is in between that estimate and purchase decision. You want to be consistently in front of them as the number one choice on their consideration list throughout that span of time. One way to do that is with the publication or with those sales materials that you can leave with the customer. Another way to do that is through email marketing, but not just kind of junk or generic email marketing. I'm talking about specific content geared towards what that customer is interested in. So for example, if I'm looking for an estimate for landscaping my house, I don't want to know about what you guys can do in the deck building or home renovation realm. I'm only interested in landscaping. Give me landscaping content. Developing a systematic process for sending specific emails to those customers geared towards what they want to know, essentially selling your business as the number one choice for them throughout that time without you having to do anything. So, there's really no other way to do this because you can't really have your front desk people or you calling up these prospects every day and checking in on them or just saying, hey, just dropping by to see how you're doing. It's strange and it's weird and doesn't make sense. The best way to do this is through email marketing, giving them valuable, helpful, and useful information that paints you in the light of expert in this field and as wanting to earn their trust and earn their business. Email marketing is a great way to do that. Now, the next bit of this, kind of in that same vein, is what marketers call remarketing. And what this is surely you've seen it if you've ever looked at something online and then started like a product or a service and then started to see ads for that product or service kind of as you're browsing around the internet. That's remarketing. Essentially, it's kind of following you around and staying top of mind. That's the whole goal here. Now, companies usually do this wrong, and the way they do it wrong is they show you the same exact ad forever. The best way to do this is to have multiple ads, each breaking down a specific pain point that person might have. You might have 10, 15, 20 different ads, all talking about different things that prospect cares about. So maybe, to use our previous example, it's about communication. They start to see an ad while they're on Facebook talking about how you guys answer communication within 24 hours. Maybe one thing that they care about a lot is not being burned. So they see an ad that you guys finish 100% of your projects every single time, or the customer gets a certain benefit. Maybe they care about their projects starting on time. So they see an ad talking about how you guys have been around for so long and you've done so many estimates of so many projects that means you know how long projects take, and you know that when you set a timeline, you can meet that. These sorts of things, all while the person is deciding who to work with. Imagine they're just slowly having all of their pain points, all of their hurdles, all the barriers of entry broken down by this content that they're seeing online. Essentially, you're kind of showing up everywhere. That's all just working to your benefit to make it easier for them to decide to work with you. So the last bit in winning the battle for decision is using a tool that we've already talked about in the step higher than this, the battle for consideration, which is direct mail. Now, what's nice about this is the same reasons why we pointed to in that previous step. It's unique, it's personalized, and people don't do it well. Imagine the estimator goes to a project, gives an estimate, and then 2 days later, that prospect receives a letter in the mail. Maybe it's handwritten from that estimator, thanking them for the opportunity to actually give them the estimate, talking about how they would love the opportunity to earn their business. Maybe a few weeks later, if that person still hasn't decided to work with you guys, maybe they receive some sort of cross-sell or upsell or benefit. Maybe if they're doing a deck, you'll offer them free pressure washing if they decide to work with you, something to get them over the hump, to get them off the fence and working with you. You can do that, and you can really kind of break through the noise by using this specific strategic direct mail strategy, because honestly, nobody is doing that. All right, so we're at the bottom of the funnel. This last bit is called the battle for retention. So you've got them, you've got their attention, you've got them to consider working with you, you've got them to decide to work with you. Now they're a customer, and now we can win the battle of keeping them as a reoccurring customer. Now, this is something that's hugely important, because in these previous steps, you've probably spent money to earn their business. And if you can get them to be a reoccurring customer, then their what's called lifetime value will increase. Lifetime value is how much money they decide to spend with you over the course of your relationship with them. Okay, so really all of this is the battle for retention. Now, you may have heard it said that it's cheaper to get more out of an existing customer than it is to acquire a new customer. And that is absolutely true, because these customers that are already your clients have had experience working with you, and so they know, like, and trust you. You don't have to build a brand new relationship with them. There's a lot of things that you can do to continue to win the battle for retention and continue to make more out of the customers that you already have. These are a few of those things. Some of these you'll notice that we've already talked about before. They're tools that you can also use in each of these steps. That first tool being email marketing. The idea here is kind of the same idea that we had here in the decision-making process. It's to remain top of mind. Now, you can do that by continue to send valuable, helpful, useful information to your customers. This could potentially be a newsletter, letting them know what's going on in your company. Are you hiring new people? Are you expanding? But maybe even more so, maybe even better route to go would be to just share valuable, helpful, useful content to them through this tool of email. Now, some people get overwhelmed when they're thinking about content creation. You know, how can I make stuff for my social media pages, for my email, for my website and my blog, for YouTube videos, or for podcasts, if that's the route that you go. One thing that we like to tell customers is to use this kind of breakout strategy where you come up with maybe two or three big ideas per month. And then you create one large piece of content around that idea. Now, that may be a blog for you. It may be a YouTube video, it may be a podcast, but you create one large form piece of content with those ideas. Then you take that big piece of content and you break it up into smaller bite-sized pieces of content. So you may have a blog post about how a home edition adds value to your home. And then from there, you could have an email talking about that. Then you could have a podcast episode about that. Then you could have 4 or 5 social media posts about that. You can see how you can use this idea to make it a lot easier for you to make content and make it more sustainable across the whole span of that month. The next tool that you have available to you is making use of a CRM. That's a customer relationship management system or software. What this does for you is help keep all your customer information in one place, and really helps to add a lot of sophistication to your business. So you may have a profile card on one of your clients that lists all the things that they may have been interested in the past. Maybe they got an estimate for a deck and they ended up moving forward with that project. But during that estimate, they also made mention to the estimator that they're considering hiring somebody to do their monthly maintenance. You can store that information in your CRM and then use tools like email marketing to get them information about landscaping and about your monthly maintenance services, kind of pre-selling or soft selling those services to them. One other way that you can use a CRM tool or just a relationship management tool, it doesn't necessarily need to be a separate software. You could do this in spreadsheets. It just requires more manual work. But what you could do is notate what services people have had from you, have had done with your company, and then use cross sells and upsells to get them to move kind of up your ladder or become more sticky. Sticky means they retain longer. So let's say, to use that previous example, somebody had a deck or a porch built by you. Now you know that you can then potentially upsell them within 6 months on like a pressure cleaning service. And then maybe in a couple of years from now, you can reach out to them about resealing their deck. These sorts of things, it really helps you to be able to get more out of the customers that you've already acquired. Now, referral programs are a tool that can be used with great success. Everybody knows that word of mouth is kind of the most important or most trusted source of information. And so if you can build out a replicatable or systematic referral program within your existing client base, it can do wonders for your business. We've seen this play out in multiple ways. You can kind of get as creative or as simple as you'd like. Some of our customers have used things like point systems where if people leave a review for your business on different platforms, or if they forward your emails to their friends, or if they ideally refer somebody as an estimate and then moves forward as a client, they could be rewarded in different ways. It could be through money. It could be through like a award system. So we've even seen or had the idea for customers to each year give out awards like physical trophies to their customers who have had the biggest backyard transformation that year, or somebody who has the most well-maintained lawn. You could even get more creative and hold actual competitions. So people who, may not even be using you as their provider for their services, but people in your local area who do a really good job at maintaining their front yard or their landscaping. Maybe you could do a competition to have people nominate those people as, best landscaping in your city. This would be a great way to get the word out about your business, and then to kind of have a unique, creative way to get in front of people that's more of a soft sell. You're not telling them they want your services. You're just being the company who's providing this like fun program that could then, be a way for you to get in front of people. And then if they need your services, who are they going to call? Probably you, because you've already done all of these things because you're watching this video and you do a great job of what you do. Now, the last bit of this battle for retention is going to be more so looking at your internal processes of your company. So how you can keep more of your money. This kind of goes into the consulting realm because we could take a unique look at your specific business and the challenges that you're facing with things kind of outside of the marketing, lead generation, and customer retention and customer conversion rate world, and more on the internal processes and workings and systems of your actual business to help you run better, run more efficiently, and keep more of your money. All right, so that wraps up how you can win the 4 key battles that you need to win in order to grow your business. It could seem like a lot of work. Hopefully we made it sound simple, and you could essentially take this and apply it yourself and instantly start to go out there and get more customers. Though if you don't want to take that on, it just so happens that this is our exact process that we use for our clients day in and day out in order to help them do all of these things. So if you want somebody to take this off your hands in a way that's going to make it work and make it sustainable and no work for you, essentially hands off, then we're really excited to be able to have the opportunity to win your trust and earn your business through a conversation. So that's where it all starts. If you'd like to, you can give us a call. You can fill out the form that we have on our website so we can look more into your business specifically, create a plan on how we think we can help you right from the get-go, and then present that to you through a call or through a video chat to be able to give you more helpful information specific to your business and you could just take and apply right away. I hope this helps. Thank you for watching. I've been Nick at Work, and we'll see you around.